Hi, I'm Todd Huffman, and I'm a freelance technologist and open data advocate, and I largely work in Afghanistan. And what I'm going to tell you about today is sort of a personal journey through open data in the middle of a war zone. I had an opportunity to be a part of a Ushahidi deployment called Live in Afghanistan, done by Small World News, doing election monitoring during the Afghan elections last year. And it was a really great project to be a part of. We got 250 different reports from a huge range of people, reporters, freelance reporters. We had a US Army chaplain who was sending us information in. And a lot of the information that was coming in was from rural areas or areas that weren't very accessible. So we had reports that are coming in from the rural areas bordering Pakistan on military commanders taking ballot boxes into their compounds. It was a great project, but one of the things that bothered me about it is that we were using Google Maps to display the data on. And just for reference, this is a map of Kabul, which is the capital city of Afghanistan. But on our map, when we had the data displayed on Google Maps, there really wasn't any roads underneath there. So this is Kabul in Google Maps, and there's a dot kind of floating out there mid-space, and these are the two highways. It's missing the entire city, and that really affects how you perceive data. And so when people outside of the country would go look at the data that we were putting up online, I was actually somewhat sad because it's basically like a lot of dots floating out in midair, and you don't really understand what's underneath there and what the country actually looks like. And there are a lot of relationships that you don't understand. For instance, Afghanistan is a mountainous country, and this dot that was there was not equidistant from that dot because there's a mountain range in between. And so I started working with OpenStreetMap in an attempt to get better maps for the country, and I personally started editing OpenStreetMap, carrying around a GPS unit and adding the traces in. And there are roads on OpenStreetMap that I put in that now exist on the map because of me. But Afghanistan is not a country where there's a lot of freedom of movement. I can't drive wherever I want to, and also a GPS unit in the hands of a local can get someone shot. And so Kabul has very good coverage, Jalalabad has really good coverage, but most of the rural areas have no representation in OpenStreetMap or any other easy available or any readily accessible web map. And so I tracked down a data set that was held by the Afghan government, specifically by a group called AIMS, and I was able to get shapefiles showing where all the roads were. And it took about a year, but I renegotiated the license on this road data from a restricted license to open database, attribution, and share alike. And so this is the existing OpenStreetMap, and the import is happening as we speak, actually. But this is the new map of Afghanistan that will be on OpenStreetMap. And just for emphasis, I'm going to flip back. The thing that I want people to take away from these two slides are the huge difference in perceptions that you might have about the country when you overlay crowdsourced data in an Ushahidi instance, understanding where people are, where they live, what things are happening, so that you're looking at an actual representation of the country rather than dots that are just floating in mid-space. And so I'm very happy about this little side project coming to fruition, because I think that Afghanistan is potentially a good place to use a lot more crowdsourcing techniques to directly engage with the population, and we'll be able to accurately display it. And the import is about 2/3 done, and Kate Chapman, who's here in the audience, is handling most of it, and also Thea Clay. The process doesn't stop here. The data is from about 2005, so it's not very current. And also there's a lot of metadata missing about like the road conditions and the names of the roads. And so I'm starting to figure out how to get access to additional data about the metadata for the roads. And then what I'm hoping is that Afghanistan can be a place where groups like the Humanitarian OpenStreetMap team can productively engage and train Afghans to maintain their own country as it's represented on the map. And these are pictures from the HOT team in Haiti. I was able to join them on one of the trips, and something that really impacted me was that the Haitians themselves were taking control of their country as it was being represented on the global map. And that's something that I'm trying to emulate with Afghanistan. Thank you.